So, come looking for a story, have you? Well, you've come to the right place. Unless you've come looking for some bland old folklore or some backwoods tale, I'm afraid I'll be disappointing you. You won't find it here. Oh, how rude of me. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Ridian James, and I'm what you would refer to as a vampire. Oh, this all started back on a normal day in my village. I was resting calmly when I heard a sudden knock at my door. I spent most of the day resting, but this awoke me suddenly. I was met at the door by a promiscuous police officer, Carla Jones. She wanted to ask me some questions about some grisly murders that were happening in the town. Unfortunately, I didn't have any information that would help her, so she went on her way. I was later awoken by screams in the forest. My house was backed on by forest. My senses are quite heightened, as I'm sure you're aware, being a vampire. So this awoke me suddenly. I jolted upright, got out of bed, headed out the door. I went towards the sound of the scream. By the time I got there, she stopped. The woman stopped screaming because all that was left of her was pieces on the ground, torn apart. I was left bewildered. It didn't scare me, of course, but it did confuse me. This didn't seem to be some animal attack, and whatever it was that did it seemed to be faster than me. By the time I got to the source of the screams, this had already occurred. I wasn't sure what to make of it. I suddenly looked all around me in the forest, checking my surroundings more thoroughly, checking to see if something else was going bump in the night. Oh, I simply shrugged it off and headed back home. The next day, I decided to take action. I figured I could lure this thing out. So, I left a sheep tied to a fence post in the middle of the town in the dead of night, and awaited while Carla went on her usual patrol. Lo and behold, several hours later, I heard the screams coming from Carla as she witnessed the murder of the sheep. But she didn't stop. She didn't stop screaming because what had done it had not left. The noise alerted me, and I went outside to see what the commotion was. Perhaps my trap had worked. When I got to the center of the town, I was once again met with silence. Now Carla's screams had stopped. In front of me was an immensely huge creature. Long, white, and gray fur. The form of a wolf, standing on two legs like a man. It was nearly 9 feet tall and had long, sharp claws, pointy ears, and red, devilish eyes that peered back at me. As Carla hung halfway out of its mouth, It clamped its jaw down. She stopped squirming, and the bottom half of her body fell to the ground as he swallowed her whole. There were no more screams, just silence. As me and this thing stared each other down. A lycanthrope. Not seen their kind in years. But there he was, right in front of her. This staring contest between me and the werewolf. He suddenly bolted off into the trees, disappeared into the night. The following night, I once again set another trap for him. I gathered as many sheep as I could, livestock, and chained him up in the center of the town, just as I had before. I knew he probably couldn't resist a free meal again. Well, there they were, practically on a silver platter. And lo and behold, he shows up. It's the darkest part of the night. The moon was high in the sky, partly covered by clouds, and he peered with long, elongated snout through the trees as he popped into existence once more. I could see him sniffing around, trying to find the source of his food. I could smell it. I could tell. He rushed towards the center of the town. By the time I got there, I found the bodies, torn apart, limb from limb, like he was a rabid animal. At this point, he may as well be. I could tell all of his humanity was gone. I suppose that's one of the main differences between me and him. I still have my humanity intact. As I'm looking at the scene, I could sense he was watching me. I turned around towards the trees, and I darted in the direction. I was confronted by him moments later. I heard rustling in the leaves. Behind me, around me, in front of me. It was fast, incredibly fast. Faster than anything I've ever seen. I ran deeper into the woods as fast as I could, but he was trailing me. I couldn't stay away from him. It was too fast. He was strong too. He knocked trees down as he ran through. I suddenly came to an opening in the forest, a clear passage. And as I slowly turned around, I found him standing directly behind me. I looked him in his eyes, and he peered down at me, towering over me, like I was a bug. And then he spoke.
Well. Little vampire, scared of me. How ironic.
What do you want with me? I managed to mutter out at him.
What I want is for you to understand that you're powerless here. I put all this show on for you, vampire.
And why do you think I actually care what you do to these people? I'm a vampire, remember? They don't care about us. Hell, they don't even believe in us. You think this proves anything to me? Don't care what you do.
I think you're probably missing the point. This is all for you to understand, not them.
Oh, I understand completely. You want to start a war with me. Well, you've got it now, werewolf.
I'll see you around, them.
Then he disappeared into the trees once again. I had one more ace up my sleeve. I decided to get a fresh victim for him this time. Things were getting quite serious, more personal. So, I got personal. I grabbed a random villager and compelled them to stand in the back of my yard. They stood there for hours, waiting for his arrival. Around midnight, he finally showed himself. He consumed the person I had waiting for. I know this because when I stepped outside to hear what the rustling of the leaves was, I saw him at the tree line, standing there with the person hanging from his mouth. And suddenly, he dropped it and dashed towards me. We begun to fight. He used his long claws against me. I thrashed around as best as I could, trying to hold him off of me. We struggled for a few moments. He was tearing me apart. I should have been dead. But then he just suddenly stopped. And he laughed at me. Then he ran off into the trees again. That fucking coward. How dare he humiliate me like this? I would have my revenge. But I knew I couldn't fight him alone and win. I decided to retrieve the help of my master, who resided in the mountains. It was a long journey through the forest, but eventually I found my way towards the mountainside that had his cave. I journeyed towards the top and climbed inside the entrance. As I entered the cave, I noticed there was blood everywhere. All over the walls, the floor, the ceiling. I went down the narrow path inside, heading towards my master's chambers. He would know what to do. I was sure of it. As I got closer towards his chamber, I noticed the blood became thicker. There was a higher quantity of it, almost like a concentrated pool of blood. And then I found out why. There was my master, split in two. How did the werewolf know I was coming here? Was he already aware of my master's presence? Did he have some kind of psychological gift? I don't understand. But I knew I couldn't stay there. He could still be here for all I know. So I left. As I exited the cave, I noticed smoke rising through the trees around where my village was. So, I rushed back home. Got there as fast as I could. But it was already too late. The entire village was on fire. People were screaming everywhere, running frantically. There was dead bodies all over the ground. And then he showed up again, right behind me.
Are you starting to understand yet, vampire? You can't stop me. And once I think you've suffered enough, I will come for you. Not these people.
My heart, what was left of it, began to beat rapidly. My palms were sweating, and I was trembling. Despite this, I made an attempt to escape. I ran towards my house, grabbed what few essentials I needed, and I ran far away from that village. Still don't know why he let me escape. Maybe he enjoyed the thrill of the hunt, but he did let me escape. Or so I thought. He's here now. I saw him, standing out in my front yard. I moved to a farm, isolated near the woods, in another state. But he still found me. I suppose this is where our story ends. He's scratching at the door. I'm sure he'll be breaking it down soon, and I will be gone. Let this be a warning to you, humans. There are things out there, things you wouldn't possibly believe. And even more importantly, there's something worse than me.